Cover that early in the regs for transponder operation, if it's installed in the aircraft, you're required to have it on, if at all possible. Okay, so here's a little survey, just to explain what I did at first. I downloaded a series of IFR flight tracks from FlightAware. If you don't know about it, it's flightaware.com. It's a website that allows you to essentially view activity for any given tail number for any scheduled air carrier flight or IFR flight. It doesn't really cover VFR stuff. Now I put it in Google Earth and you get a three-dimensional plot of all their tracks. So I focused on Roanoke for probably about a 2-week span, somewhere between about February and March. And then I looked at turbine and piston arrivals and departures. I just consolidated them all to one because most of the traffic is just airliners and turbine aircraft. The text isn't showing up as well as I thought. These are all departures right here, as you can see by the arrows. And you can see just by the density of everything which runways they generally use, and you can see they almost always use 2-4, I believe, going out that way. And their paths, you can see, correspond to a series of arrival procedures they normally use and just what direction the plane is going in general. The standard departure procedure they use usually involves going straight out somewhere towards Pulaski, and then they get vectored on course. This is more characteristic of a VFR day, where you see them depart, and then just before they're getting out of Roanoke airspace, they're just going direct to their destination. On average, over Roanoke, they're starting out field elevation up to 5,000, and as they're crossing the mountains just to the northwest of the field, they're going from 5,000 to 9,000 feet, and then as they come up towards our neighborhood, passing over Sinking Creek Valley, they're hitting about 10,000 to 15,000. Now that's an average range. They can straggle a bit lower. I've seen them considerably lower than that, above that end of Sinking Creek and more towards our end, which you can see it. I saw one trace on there as low as 8,000 right over the bowl. And again, this is turbine traffic, so piston engine-driven aircraft, they don't have nearly as good a climb rate. They could be climbing out a lot shallower. So now these are all the arrivals. You'll notice these are considerably lower because a lot of these airplanes are very efficient. They can't descend very well. They don't like to use spoilers because it upsets the passengers. So you'll notice they pass over the bend more like 8,000 to 10,000 feet. And in a neighborhood up near Oriskany and over the mountain there, they're coming down from 10 to 12,000 all the way down to 7,000 and 10,000 feet. Pretty close to the area where we're getting some really good thermals working up and down the ridges there. And on really good days, of course, cloud bases, they'll go well up to 7,000 feet. So you get pretty close sometime. And a note, so now that we kind of see these general areas where they funnel aircraft in to the approaches, then if you're out in any one of those areas where traffic is more dense, just listen to 118.15 if you got a spare handheld radio, or if the glider chatter is pretty infrequent. That way you can hear them coming. That's the frequency for that sector of Roanoke airspace. And they'll usually give altitudes and that kind of thing. That's the main thing to listen to. If you hear an altitude assignment given to an airliner that's close to yours, you probably want to start looking out, either from them coming from the northwest or coming at you from Roanoke. So just to put that in a more familiar perspective there. And then just to kind of show why they funnel down to certain spots, you can see Victor Airways going into Roanoke along those approximate lines where they're going in and out, right over Blacksburg, and pretty much right over Newcastle. Newcastle is about right here. And then that's their approach to runway 6. You notice that pattern where they're all going straight down and funneling into that one corridor right over 81. Interstate 81, that is. And then this is vice versa for runway 24 out near the Fincastle area where we don't normally fly. That's closer to Springwood territory. All right, that's it.
We're good.
All right.